What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back for another FFTV magazine powered by SS Studio. But on this one, we're on our business spotlight. And when I say I got a real big time author, let me look into my camera. I have one of the biggest authors in Atlanta. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is look at this book, and you can order it on Amazon, and you can order it from Barnes and Nobles. But guess what? I am here with the most beautiful, the most talented.
Thank you.
When I talk about writers, I get a little deep with writers, right? Because this is how we get to the next level.
True.
And there's a writer strike right now. So let me bring in Azaire Blaze. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for asking.
I am doing wonderful.
Good.
You know, I want to start off by asking you about this strike.
Well, I find it pretty interesting. I think it's well deserved, you know, because they are trying to cut corners a little bit. And, you know, there's just certain things that AI and all these other things can't do coming from a human mind, you know, and we deserve to get paid for what we sit down for hours and hours doing, actors alike. So, yeah.
Preach.
Yes.
Okay. So, Azaire, you are an author.
Yes.
Of the published The Model Life book. Okay, so we're going to get to that in a second. But first, I want to know a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I am originally from Brooklyn. But
Brooklyn?
I've been in Atlanta for a while. So I'm like, you know, I don't know, a northern southern patty right now.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you know, the producer, Pete Sylvester, the owner of SS Studios, is from New York as well.
Oh, yeah?
Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
In the house.
Best side.
Okay. So we want to make sure we shout that out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Shout out.
So Brooklyn raised you. But you've been in Atlanta for a while.
Been in Atlanta for a while.
Okay. So what got you writing?
Well, I've been a writer since I was younger. I used to write plays. I used to have like notebooks and notebooks full of stories that I've written. And I used to keep them for myself, though. I just used to like to make up stuff and just write pages and pages of stuff. I don't know. And then my uncle found my notebook one day, actually, and he read some of my stories. And he's like, these are really good. I'm like, well, thank you. So I just been kind of, I don't know, like writing short stories has like been my thing.
Shout out to Uncle.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an uncle myself. Shout out to my two nephews and my niece.
Shout out to my Uncle Dre. He was the one.
That's big. Huge shout out to Mark.
Yes. Huge shout out to Mark. He's been a huge part of my writing journey as an adult. So it's been absolutely amazing.
So for those who don't know who Mark is, Mark is the person who plugged us in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mark is the person who plugged everybody in, it seemed like.
Come on now. So
he plugged me into this novel. That's how we got it written. It was his idea, and I just expanded on it from my perspective, and we just took that and kept on running.
Wow. Look at that. So I want to make sure to shout out Mark.
Yes.
You know, we want to make sure Mark gets his love.
Absolutely.
Now, I also want to know about this book. Okay? But before we get to the book, let's keep talking about you.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about me.
Because I want to know kind of what got you to the book. So, were you a model growing up?
I wasn't a model growing up.
Okay.
My sister, my older sister, shout out to Alexis, she was a model growing up. I was more in the design side of things, which actually she wanted to design first, but I kind of just really fell in love with it. So she went a more model route and I went a more design route. And then I just kind of realized like I can do things a little faster as a model. You know, I'm in rooms, bigger rooms a lot faster as a model, and then I can, you know, network that way. So, and then I just fell in love with modeling. So I don't know. Now I just love modeling too, the same way I love designing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, this book is more on the side of designing because at the time of writing it, you were coming from a designer's point of view. So let's talk about designer-wise. What kind of got you inspired as a designer?
Okay, so really, my big two was designing and writing when I was younger. So, sorry, Mom. Well, she knows this already, but I was cutting up all her bed sheets to make dresses when I was younger. So I've been doing that since I was young too. Me and my cousins and my sisters, we play dress up and we would use the sheets to just make hair and make dresses and do all this stuff. So I kind of been into it for a while. Painting, doing my own stuff. So yeah.
So are these custom designs?
These are custom designs, one of one. I do not like to make the same thing twice.
Ooh, preach. Preach. Okay, so I love this idea, okay, because as we all know, I am also obviously a host, right? But my background is a cameraman.
Oh, yeah?
Okay?
Okay.
We own camera companies.
I see. And that's some nice cameras right here.
And film companies, okay?
I see.
So the model life is something we know all about. Me and the producer, we actually produced a reality show
Oh, yeah?
in the model world.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
So your book very much so intrigues me.
Okay.
So let's show the viewers once again.
Please do.
Published The Model Life. Right? So on the cover of it, I see you doing makeup.
Yes.
So talk to me about the inspiration to the cover. Where did the cover come from? How did we get the inspiration to this cover?
Now, there is a character in the book that's very glitzy and glamoury. She's very high maintenance. She's beautiful. And so I wanted to depict that on the cover with that look that's in front of you. Now, me being a makeup artist was kind of two things. Me jumping in to fill in a spot that just made more sense. And then the next thing was it just felt like I was painting my picture. Like it was all coming together to lay out what I'm trying to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
it goes way beyond just me being a makeup artist on the cover, but literally me painting the story for you to see what's going on, which is this character that's glitzy, glammy, high fashion, but really into some stuff when the lights and the cameras and the doors close.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, what was the inspiration behind writing the book?
So originally, this was Mark's idea now. He came to me, he's like, listen, I got this dope idea. I think we can expand on it. Let's try it. Because we've done several projects beforehand where he'll come up with ideas and I'll expand on it. So this is like, you know, one of those things. Now, this being this big is kind of new to me, but it was one of those type of things for me. Like his idea, let's expand, see where we go with it. So that's kind of what I did there. So I just took portions of my life and built these characters, and he helped me build these characters, and we built these stories to kind of tell the ultimate story.
Yeah, so that's something else I wanted to ask you about, okay? Because this is a fictional book.
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 But this is also real life. So I want to know about this. Talk to me about
real life. So the way I like to write is I take my actual real life experiences and dramatize them a little bit. So some of that actually happened.
Right.
But some of it is like, okay, this is kind of what I wish would have happened, you know, or what could have happened. But it's not very much of that, to be honest with you. The fictional part comes in characters, character names, character personalities. You know, that's really where most of the fiction comes from, is that these are not real people. But the story being told is absolutely what's really going on for real. Yeah.
Okay, so before we get more into the book, because I want to know something about a couple of these chapters.
Okay.
Right? But before we get into the book, your experience in the model world, right? What was that like, and how similar was it to the book?
It's hard. That's number one. Everybody fighting for their life. It's hard. It's a lot of hard work. You walking, you 6 feet high in the air on your toes, you walking back and forth, and you really have to prove and show yourself ready. You might get rejected. You might get turned down. You might even make it to a point where you're like, okay, I'm really doing this. I'm good in my career. And then something humbles you. That happens, you know? So I feel like it's really what's going on for real. And that still currently happens to me as a model now. So.
Right,
Yeah.
because, you know, I've been doing some research on you.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk to me.
And the one thing that I've noticed that you kind of preach about is not models having a certain look. Right?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm sure in the model world, which I've been noticing, they normally go for a certain look when it's a certain type of whatever it is, right? They go for a
Brand
certain type of
campaign.
look. Now, I honestly thought you wouldn't have fit that look. But upon meeting you, you fit that certain look that they talk about for models. So I'm wondering how you're able to preach the opposite side of it and bring people in. I'm very curious on that.
Good question. Very good question. It's hard. It's really an internal thing. Like, it's like from the inside. Like, you have to like be able to look at that girl with the long silky hair and be like, I'm just as beautiful as that. Like, that's an internal thing. Like, my hair can actually do that. It's just a different texture.
Right.
Like, I can actually dress like that and give off that same exact vibe. My hair is just a different texture.
Right.
Or my skin is just a different color. But I look just like that. So it's like, once I realized that, it's like, it's an inside thing. Like, you have to walk in every room like you can do what they're asking you to do and really get it done. And know that before you even know what they're going to ask you to do. You just know you could do it.
Now, why do you think they have a certain look for models, though?
As a designer, honestly, it kind of makes sense. Just because, like, I really do understand what it's like to have to buy fabric.
Right.
To have to do all these. It's easier to do it in a size 0. That's like half the money I would have spent doing it in a size, you know what I'm saying, 6, 8. Those are beautiful women, but it's just easier. That's the thing. Doesn't make it right, but it's convenient. And that's why it's like, if she's taller, I can make longer pants without it sweeping on the ground. You know what I mean? I can actually show what I'm trying to do without it dragging because she's taller.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
can actually show the design of the fabric or the print that I just made because she's taller. That's a real thing. And it kind of makes sense from a designer standpoint. I want to be able to see what I just made. And I don't want to spend so much money making the sample piece. That's why. It's not that you're not beautiful. It's not that you don't fit the description, blah, blah, blah. It's really a money thing. Like, I don't want to spend $12 a yard if I could spend $6 and make a smaller size.
You just taught me something, okay? You just taught me something.
But you do got to include everybody because everybody is beautiful. So.
And true indeed. But I'm also one, and we're not going to go too far into it, but I'm also one to say health is wealth.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we want to stay in healthy shape.
Absolutely.
We want to stay in healthy form. We want to stay in healthy fashion. So with all that being said, I can understand that
Yes.
as well, right? Which leads me to my next question.
Okay.
Because this book talks a lot about the struggles of models, right? What are some of the struggles that the models are going through behind the scenes? Because this book covers the behind the scenes look. So what are some of the struggles that the models are having behind the scenes?
Like, the thing is like, as a model, you're required to show up and be happy, kind of. Like, even when you're like in that straight face on the runway, you have to be in good spirits to be in front of all these people to pose and really give it all you got. Like, you gotta really, but you also have things going on. My boyfriend cheating on me, my mom in the hospital, you know, all of this stuff. I have to go to work. I'm feeling down today, but I still have to look nice on set. Like, all of this stuff that you have to go through behind the scenes, but still show up and get the job done, because it is still a job. I think that's what people forget. They see the glitz, the glamour. She's pretty, she's dressed in nice clothes, but I'm still at work. And do you want to go to work every day?
I do not.
I do not. So it's like, you don't want to go to work every day, but you have to show up and be the face of these things going on.
Okay, so you know, right about now, everybody thinks they're a model.
True.
Right? Like, everybody. Okay, everybody thinks they're a model.
Very true.
So, with that being said, before we approach some of these Drake lines,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
where do models get their teachings from nowadays, right?
You know, I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of model coaches now out there, but like really knowing, I feel like comes from studying. You got to study people who did it before you, study the people who are currently doing exactly what it is that you want to do as a model, not just a model, but exactly what you're trying to do. Study what they do. Study what agencies they got signed to. Like, study. I feel like a lot of models just practice they walk, they practice their poses, and they go out there, but there's a lot more that goes into that. You got to know where you at and what room you in, because you might be the best model, but that might not be your right room. But if you don't know that, it's not going to matter.
Okay, so let's get to this Drake line. Because he's got a couple of them.
You got a few.
You know, I think it was, I'm not going to quote him because we don't want to get copyright infringements, but basically, you ain't a model if you ain't been in Vogue. Okay? Now, we also know that he came back and said that like a old R&B group, he can get you one call and get you in Vogue. So he's really trying to show that he's showing the models love, okay? He just did it in a roundabout way. So I want to know, as a model and as a designer, do you take the things that are happening in the everyday music and incorporate that into what you have going on?
It depends. It depends if it directly benefits the path I'm on as a model. Like, if I want to be like a video model and I want to do more of the urban stuff, definitely. But if I want to do more high fashion, it wouldn't really make no difference.
Right.
You know? So I want to do more high fashion. So whatever they got going on don't really... Now, if you could put me in some rooms, let's do it.
I know that's right. No, I know that's right.
But not typically that they correlate, unless it's like with Pharrell now doing the men's line, stuff like that. But other than that,
So let's go into the book. Which chapter was your favorite chapter to write?
Good question. Okay, probably, I don't remember the chapter number though, but there is a chapter with two of my favorite characters, one named Flower, one named Nelly, and that just reminds me of me and my cousin because we grew up together. Okay. So we did those type of things. So
shout out to Cuzzo.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin Christine, love you girl. But that really brought me back a little bit. It was very nostalgic because I had to really like go back and think about how we were when we was together, hanging out, what I would have said, what she would have said. So I thought that one was super, super cute. I really loved that chapter.
Fire. Yes. Okay, so now what was the most challenging?
What was the most challenging? There was one I had to do a lot of research. There was this one specific chapter about fabric and textiles, and I had to really do some research on that to make sure I was like really putting accurate information in. So I had to spin the block on that chapter.
Right.
I had to skip that one, come back, take some notes. So it wasn't challenging. Well, it was challenging because I had to actually, put some work in from a research standpoint. So yeah, that one tripped me up a little bit. But we made it through.
That's dope.
That is dope. Make me think.
So where did you come up with the character names, especially knowing that they're not real characters, right? Because that was something that I was ultra interested in because, it's good to get creative, but sometimes that can throw you off of who you're really talking about.
True.
So how did you come up with the names?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I've been writing stories for so long. I just have favorite names. Like, I just hear it and I'm like, ooh, that sound good. Or I look up names and I like mix names together, or I'll just, I don't know, like start with the letter. Like, I want a name that start with a P and just start saying stuff in my mind, and then something be like, ooh, that's kind of cute.
Fire.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm obsessed kind of with coming up with characters. That's like one of my favorite parts of writing is character creating.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Come up with the letter. I come up with the name. Okay. All right. So I want to know a little bit more about some models. Okay. So what are the myths? Because in your book, you kind of approach some of the myths by talking about, and you're talking about some of the myths in them by just some of the reenactions that the people are having. So I want to know, what are some of the myths that people have about the model world, especially behind the scenes?
Well, going back to it being hard, I feel like the glitz and glamour really do like shine a big blinding eye to like how hard it can really be to like keep your skin just clear, like keep your mind clear, be in good spirits. That I think is number one. It is hard to show up as yourself like every single day. Sometimes you need those days to be ugly, to be raggedy, but it's hard when you real deep into modeling. You never know what might come up. Like, you never know. I need you on set in 2 hours. Like, you can't just be, I'm ugly today. Like, you're going to miss that.
Facts.
So that is definitely a huge myth. I'm trying to think. I think I have a myth that's probably an unpopular opinion. But
Let's go.
Probably for shoes.
Okay.
I don't think you should wear wedges as a model.
Okay, elaborate.
I don't know. I just feel like if the designer is a shoe designer and that is the shoe she made, then okay. But I feel like, or if that's what the designer want, but I feel like most of the time a real model shoe is a stiletto. But I don't know.
Stilettos.
Wedges are starting to become like a thing. I see a lot at like castings and like shows and stuff. So maybe it's coming back in style. I don't know. But
So let's talk about a little bit of that, because it seemed to me that a lot of this book took place around fashion shows. Am I correct with that?
kinda ish. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of fashion show energy.
Right.
Yes.
Right. At least it seemed like that.
Yes.
Right.
Now that I'm putting it all together in my mind, yes.
Okay. So with that being said, what are some of the fashion show stories that you saw that reminded you of the book, which made you come up with some of these stories in the book?
Well, as a designer, I actually put on a few shows of my own. So I got a chance to really see what that looked like behind the scenes and then be in a show from a model standpoint. So I feel like I've gotten like a full view of a fashion show at this point. So it's really, 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 really interesting. Some of them are really good and some of them are like, why am I here? You know what I mean? Like, you're sitting there all day, which is a given. You do a lot of hurry up and wait. But some of them are just like, this is kind of crazy. Like, I could have came in here 4 hours later and still got this job done. So, yes, and a lot of my model experience is on the runway. So that's probably what you're picking up on as well. A lot of my model experience is on the runway. That is what I enjoy most about modeling is runway. So
Facts. Now, I actually threw a fashion show. I threw one in Birmingham.
okay.
And I know what you mean by the hurry up and wait. Lord Jesus.
You just sitting there waiting for the moment and then it's over like that.
Quick. Now, which is one reason why I like to keep the designers down. So I give you a chance to keep walking, you know, do a couple of walks
Yes,
to
I
get you
agree.
through there. Because I tell you, man,
agree.
you do a lot to finish up and be done, you know.
No.
Okay, so as we come up to closing of the interview, I still have a couple more questions.
Okay.
But as we wind down,
Okay.
first off, let's give another shout out to where they can find this book. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to reapproach this at the end.
Yes.
But let's shout out where they can find the book first.
Okay, if you want a signed copy of the book, come find me at Azaire Blaze, at Publish The Model Life. Come find us, get a signed copy. But if you just want to get a copy, hurry up and read it. Amazon, get that. Order one from Barnes & Nobles, get that. But definitely come find me for the signed copy. I got the juice. It's going to make the book 10 times better.
Got the juice. Got the juice. When it comes to photographers, okay, what are your interactions with photographers? Now, be careful, okay, because my man behind the camera plays a lot of roles. But let's blast him for a second. Not him, obviously, but you know, let's talk about these photographers.
Okay. I feel like it's been like a trend to keep models safe, which is good. Like, everybody is like, make sure y'all keeping the models safe because we're starting to realize how important models are. We got a long way to go, but y'all coming around to it, so I could dig that. However, I do personally feel like some men photographers need to focus more on detail, right? Like, you snapping pictures and they look amazing, but like, my hair is over there, my shirt a little droopy, something hanging over here. It's like, you ain't see that? I can't see me. You see me.
So I can explain, because I have that problem. Okay. Now, Pete does not have that problem. That is one reason why he is my lead photographer.
Okay, that's why he
is
leads.
because
Makes
he's
sense.
focused and sees the detail.
Yes, we need it.
And whatever he don't see, he'll edit out. But me, I'm going to go and give you my excuse. Okay.
Let's hear it.
I'm looking at everything else.
I feel
so
that.
I'm normally looking at the things around you or around the subject. So they're either in focus or out of focus, right? Like right now, that plant, right? On your camera, your camera's in probably F3 or F4, which
Okay.
means that plant is kind of blurred out.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay, got you.
So I'm going to focus around you because you're the subject, and I'm probably already thinking, you know, it's a fine female. She look good. She don't need no help.
My shirt sliding.
I know.
My shirt was
I be wrong.
hanging.
I
My
be
hair
wrong.
was, you ain't see the follicle up?
I be wrong. So look, photographers, this is one thing we're going to work on this
Put
year.
a full-length mirror in the studio or pay attention.
Correct.
Just give us a full-length mirror. We'll appreciate that anyway because we like to see ourselves as models. So
I
if you
agree.
can, just full-length mirror us.
I agree. You know, Pete shaking his head, but there's a full-length mirror right there, as you can see. And we're going to take some photos, right? And they're right there in the studio there, and you'll see a full-length mirror there. So we do abide by those rules, you know, but at the same time, you know, it's my excuse, okay? That's my excuse.
Okay.
Now, once again, where can these folks find you?
Okay, find me on Instagram at Azaria Blaze, Azaria Blaze. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's one.
And what about the book again? Where can we find the book?
The book is published MTL, The Model Life, TML. Published TML. Published The Model Life.
Which we'll
on
make
Instagram.
sure, and we'll make sure to have all the links and
Yes,
stuff.
because the letters, y'all know I'm a little dyslexic. But for real, it's published TML. And then published, I don't remember the website, but
That's right. We're going to get them all of that, though. That'll all be in the captions.
There's a lot of information to store.
It is. That's why we put it in the captions. Okay? Don't you worry.
But definitely just come find me. I'm going to have all the information readily available. Azaria Blaze for all your needs. All your needs. Yes.
Well, Azaria, you have been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Is this, okay, so last question, because I always got one more question.
Okay, come on.
The book.
The book.
Is this the last book that you're writing, or is this just starting the series?
This is just starting the series. I have big plans. I'm really excited about it. I have huge plans. I also have separate huge plans. I plan to do a lot with writing. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Huge plans. But this is literally just the beginning. Test the waters, get the name out there. Let me know what y'all think about it. Feedback. I love feedback. If you hate it, tell me. Tell me what you hate about it, though. You got to have a good reason, or I ain't going to listen. But definitely tell me. If you love it, tell me so I can know what you want to see, what you want to hear, what we're trying to do.
Give them a look at the book one time.
What's that? Oh, book.
Give them a look at the book.
Book. Painting a picture for y'all to see what's going on behind them scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Glitz, glamour, and tears.
And everything else. Azaria, you have been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We're about to go take some pictures.
Okay, let's do it.
Wrap this up, make them feel real good about the glitz and glamour.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all watching.
Thank you so much.
It's Fonzy, and we're out.
Right.
FFTV.